Annie Mae tell you all she see. Have you ever thought she was trying to get close to me? Yeah. Think it over. Think it over, girl. Think it over. Look, that's the way I feel about you. And if that's getting weak for you, I don't mind, I don't mind, I don't mind, I don't mind. That's the way I feel about you. Ooh, that's the way I feel about you. I know you've been hurt, and so has many others too. But that's a sacrifice that life put you through, put you through, put you through. Trust in me, my dear. Have no fear. You don't know, but God might have sent me here. Yeah. Think it over. Think it over.
Hey everybody, how y'all doing? This is Sugar Ray. Welcome to the Sugar Shack Tuesday, y'all. It is Tuesday at 12:03. We're gonna get it on. We're gonna get it on. Our guest today was supposed to be Mr. Johnny Ross. He couldn't get his work. We'll get it next time. But we got a great show lined up for you as another special guest. Come on.
That's the way.
This little Bobby Womack. But that's the way I feel today, y'all. Woo!
That's the way I feel about you. Let me say.
Yeah, walking around well without being red out here walking around. It's beautiful out here today. I'll show you pictures a little bit.
That's the way I feel about you.
You see the walker there, Sesame?
You know. Well, that's the way I feel about you.
Freddie Lawson said, Bobby Womack, hell yeah.
Please, I'm for love. If it ever comes knocking at your door, 'cause what's out there knocking, baby? The world don't give enough of, I know you've been hurt, and so has others too. But all you got to do is ask them about the changes in life I put them through.
Good morning, Mansfield. What up, baby?
Just the way it is. Listen.
Think it over.
It's a sign of weakness. Check into the situation, girl. Dig a little bit deeper.
I hear you, Big Red.
That's the way I feel about you, yeah. Oh, that's the way I feel about you. That's the way I feel about you.
I can see my mama in her little shorts.
That's the way
that little ring in the hair in the park.
That's the way I feel about you. That's the way I feel about you.
Let's go, Jess. What up, Susie Banks? How's it in Germany, mama?
I want to testify to see the way I feel about you. So if I'm weak with you, I don't mind. Well, don't you leave. That's the way I feel about you. Let me say, well, that's the way I feel about you.
That's kind of mood I was in today, y'all. I had to bring that up. How y'all doing? Welcome to Tuesday. I hope everybody doing good. Hope you're getting your shots. We are real close to Anke Bartles. How you doing, mama? How's everything doing? Hello from Germany. Hope you got your shots. We're getting real close to getting back out on the road. Matter of fact, Drake Monkey Head Shine and drove the van down back from LA to Arizona yesterday. The day before yesterday, been hanging out with me here at the house a couple of days, and we getting the van all ready to get back out on the road and do our thing. I took out about 3 trash bags of trash out of the back of it, but it's all good, baby. We got it together. So it is what it is. Matter of fact, Mr. Johnny Rawls was not able to get his computer together. I want to thank Johnny for trying. He didn't have his computer. He tried it on his phone. I understand, Johnny. We'll try again one time. And we had to get these carrier pigeons that he got because Johnny go old school. We're going to train up these carrier pigeons and they're going to take the messages back and forth. We're going to make it do what it do. But I do have a special guest since Drake is here. We're going to bring Drake on. Plus, Drake is working on a brand new album. He's working on his first solo album. First time he's been back in the producer's chair and all that in almost 30 years. We'll holler at him about that. You know, he more Negro than anything, but that's a whole nother story. We'll talk about that in a minute. But the question of the day is, who is your favorite Texas blues band? I'm spotlighting my home state tonight, y'all. I don't never spotlight my own home state. I am Texas. I am the Texas blues man, 6'5", 300 pounds, Mr. Suga, Ray Rayford. And we're going to spotlight some old school Texas blues guys. But before I go there, I just received this from my friend Bob Corridor. This is his new album, Spider in My Stew. Bob Corridor and Friends. I happen to be on that album. It's something that was recorded years and years and years ago, and Bob has been good by putting little bits of songs out here and there. This album comes out May 14th. I think you can go and download some of the songs right now from this CD Baby at Amazon. But we're gonna play this one. This one's called Big Mama Soul Food. Check it out. See if you dig it. Let me know.
Neck bones, red Kool-Aid, 2 inches sugar on the song.
Encino, California, Encino.
When my soul get hungry, I gotta get me some of Big Mama soul food.
Them folks like the Hopkins. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna play some like the Hopkins, baby. I'm gonna play some Flyers. I'm gonna play some of the old cats. Man, we love all the new cats too. We love Albert Collins and Billy Gibbons and Stevie Ray Vaughan and Freddie King and Bugs Henderson. But I'm playing some of the old stuff too. Hey, baby. Who is your favorite Texas blues band? Somebody needs to vote for me. They put on the slip, y'all. Let me put that up on there. Thank you, buddy. Or was that you, Eric? That's probably Buddy, because Buddy get it together. Eric, get it together. I got a great team. I've been very blessed.
Fried bologna.
Sandy, what up, girl? How you doing?
Wine bread.
Marcelo Ruiz Sanchez.
Peanut butter and jelly, baby. My soul is well fed.
Saluda, saluda.
I'm going down to Big Mama's and getting me some soul food.
Thank you, Nicole Butler. Sugar Ray Band is her favorite. My favorite too. I tell you an inside joke, but I can't say the words on Zoom. That would bring over and say, Ray, you got a band. Where's the peach cobbler? Yeah, Big Mama made peach cobbler once in a while. It was more like banana pudding, baby. Or
now
sweet
it's Sunday
cornbread.
morning and we going to church. We gonna swing and shout, y'all,
Karen,
and give
what's
the
up?
Lord his worth. Come Sunday evening now,
Bond
I'm
brothers,
going to
Larry,
Big Mama's and get me some soul food. Sweet tea, hot water cornbread, smothered pork chops, and sweet cornbread.
Buddy Burger said cornbread, y'all. I made cornbread last night.
Get me some soul food.
Bob Corridor do have Spider in my stew. May 14th to come out. Pick it up, y'all. Right on. Who is your favorite Texas blues man, baby? And here I got my new shirt. Just got it yesterday. Bob Corridor and Friends. This is his new album, Spider in My Stew. You have to send me a couple copies of it. Pretty cool. Look at that, y'all. Spider in My Stew. Blessings on you, baby. Blessings on you. Oh, I still got that up on the screen. Let me get that down. If you feel like your soul been moved to give something to help keep the show running, please do. If you don't, still come back anyway, because I love you just the same. That's the way I work. I'm from the country. This is Southern hospitality. Texas blues, man. You know, there's a lot of great Texas blues, man, but I love honoring the old school blues cats because they're not getting the love, I think, that they deserve. Like I said, you know, the Freddie Kings, the Albert Collins, the Billy Gibbons, the Stevie Ray Vaughns, the Jimmy Vaughns, all those guys were unbelievable. Bugs Henderson, the list going on. But I want to attribute to some of the old school blues cats. Who is your favorite? Who is your favorite Texas blues man? Your favorite Texas blues man? Here's an old school one right here. I'm gonna throw this up for you. Check it out. See what you think.
Blind Lemon. Blind Lemon and I run together for about 18 years around Dallas, Texas. And he was a blind man. I used to lead him around. When him and I would go and big folk would sit down, we'd talk to one another. Oh, baby, he's a blind man, blind lemon. Oh, baby, he's a blind man.
Hey, Barbara Ryan, how you doing, beautiful?
All he can.
Get it right.
Oh, baby, till he's traveling through
That's right there,
land.
boys. Texas blues women too.
Doing
Get you
all
right.
he can. Oh, baby, till he's traveling through the land. He's American. Oh, baby, till he's traveling through the land. He's American. Oh, baby, he's traveling through the land. Get out of here.
That's right, Chef. Chef Wright.
Talk to me. Yeah, man.
W.C. Clark. All right, Karen Duran. Now that was Lead Belly, y'all. Who the Lead Belly? And you know, him and Blind Lemon used to run together quite often. And matter of fact, speaking of Blind Lemon, and I like that Karen Duran said she loved her some W.C. Clark. Let me give a shout out to an honorary Texas blues man who actually out of Louisiana, but he spent many, many years in Texas. That's the legendary Mr. Gabe Bob Brown. Many years in Texas. He was one of the first black men I ever saw to have his own live television show. That was out of the Dallas area for many, many decades. Gabe Bob Brown. But here's a little bit of the greatest one. And this is a sad story. I don't know if it's true, but I heard many years ago when Blind Lemon died, that he died in Chicago. And I guess it was really cold. And supposedly, I don't know if the story true, but supposedly they found him months later when the snow thawed. He was in a snowbank dead. That's the story that I was told of how they found Blind Lemon. But you guys let me know. A lot of historians out there. I've tried to do much research as I can all the time and listen to the old school cats who were there and who got the word from cats that were there back then. But my understanding, Blind Lemon was found passed away in Chicago way back when in a snowbank when the snow melted later that spring. But here's one for you, Blind Lemon. Check it out, y'all. See if you dig that.
Tell me where my easy rider gone.
Renato Suman, d'être venu. Ça va, ça va? Merci beaucoup. Merci beaucoup. Toby Simmons, Julie, how you doing? Hope you're feeling better.
rider died on the road.
Now, I'm sorry, y'all. These are old recordings, so it's not a lot of high fidelity. But check them out.
I'm poor boy, yeah, they got nowhere to go. Soon's gonna be the time that a woman don't need no man. Well, it's gonna be the time a woman don't need no man.
That's right, Aaron Sexton, Johnny Winter. He was, baby.
Say, baby, shut
From
your
Texas.
mouth and don't be raising can. Ain't I don't burn no coal at all.
Have a good day, Gary Wright.
The coal out funny, everybody says it cannot go.
Johnny Copeland, brother. You're right.
I went to the depot. I went to the depot, sat my suitcase down. The blues would take me and tears come rolling down. The woman I love, she must be out of town. The woman I love, man, she's out of town. She left me this morning with a face that's forever found. I had a gal across town to crochets all the time. I got a gal across town to crochets all the time. If you don't quit crocheting, you're gonna lose your mind. That bad brown, what's the matter now? That bad brown, what's the matter now? You're trying your best to quit me, woman, and you draw no town.
Man, isn't that beautiful? I mean, the way that they played, the way they did things is just amazing. That was Blind Lemon Jefferson, ladies and gentlemen. Blind Lemon. Of course, he's much, much, much older than I am. I'm just a baby. But I've heard stories of Blind Lemon through some of the old gospel guys that I knew. Thinking of specifically, I remember this old preacher come out of the deep south. He used to come to our church. He was going to our church for a while. His name was, we call him, the word is elder, but we call him Ella. That's just the way black folk call it. So Ella Devereaux, which actually means to people outside of, or it's Ella Wade or Ella this or Ella that. For people outside of that part of Texas, it means elder this or elder that. Elder Devereaux, Elder Wade, elder that. So it's a rank in the church. And then sometimes just because someone's older than you, we always say sister. Once you got to a certain age, black folks, to show older black folks respect, if it was a woman, you called her mother. And I still do that. And it's funny because even when I'm around the country and I'll see some older black woman and I'll open the door or something and I say, mother, here you go. And they look at you like, because they realize you're from the old school, because they don't hear that, because young kids are not taught that. That part of our culture isn't taught anymore, but we call them mother. You know, once they got to be 60, 65, 70, 75, they were mother. Whether they were your mother or not, the respect was to call them mother. And that wasn't just a Texas thing. That was a Southern thing. And I know some folk down south still do it. So it's like being a church mother. She's a mother. She's the mother of the world, but she's mother. And for the men, we just call them elder or brother this, but elder that. You show them respect. And I'm still that way today. I still say yes, sir, no, sir, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. But that's just the way I was brought up. Barbara said, Lightning Hopkins. And before I bring on a guest, check this out. We're going to bring up some Lightning Hopkins. I hear Dale Crab, but we talking about Texas bluesmen today, not these guys that left Louisiana and went to Chicago. Texas today. We representing Texas.
Now, baby, please don't go. Now, baby, please don't go back to New Orleans. You know I love you so, baby, please.
Lightning Hopkins, you got it dyed, fried, and laid to the side, baby.
I be a man and gone. I be a man and gone. He left the county for me, had his shackles on. Now, baby, please.
Left the county for him, he had his shackles on. But baby, please don't go.
Now don't you call my name. Now don't you call my name.
Eric Corn in the house. E, what be up, baby?
Got me way down here when it ball and chain. Now, baby, please. Now turn your lamp down low. Now turn your lamp down low. I beg you all night long, oh baby, please don't go back to New Orleans.
Lightning Hopkins, y'all. Wow. I mean, just no one did it like the old cats, man. I just love that stuff. It's beyond. I guess the word will say beyond amazing. You know, I love it to death. Blind Lemon, Lightning Hopkins. I had one up here that I wanted to play from another great Texas blues band. But check this out. My guest today, since he's here, I'm making him work. It's going to be Mr. Drake Shannon. We're going to bring him up in just a second. I think in this song, Drake is doing a fabulous solo. Let's check this out.
Listen, the man we passed tried to stare me down. When I looked at you, you looked down at the ground. Listen, fellas, said, I don't know who she is, but I think you do. Tell me, baby, said, who is he and what is he to you? Who is he and what is he to you? Come on, let's get with it.
That's the Drakey poo, baby. Drake monkey hate shining. You know, I kill us all. That's Drake's favorite term. And the band is acting up in the band. He'll turn around like, I kill us all. He was driving. I'm like, uh-oh, Lord have mercy. We're going to bring him up. Let me give a shout out to Stephanie Gonzalez from Apropos Management, my management, to Joseph, my mind is going back. Jesse Rosoff, how you doing? Out of Mint, for my booking agency, Jesse Rosoff. The booking agency Mint. Eric Sassaman, the Wizard of Oz, always doing his thing. He was on early today. I don't know what wrong. He must have been bored at home. He came on at 11:30 today, but I love it. Big shout out to Bunny Burkett, to everybody over there. Tristan DeVito and all those guys doing great over Magicians Media. Bunny Burkett, aka Glenda the Good Witch, keeping it up, keep straight. The Pam Raven to everybody. Thank you for the help. Let's bring him on. Without further ado, glad he was here today since we couldn't get Johnny Rawls on. We're gonna bring on Mr. Drake Monkey Hate Shining, ladies and gentlemen. Here he comes. Bam! There he be.
No, I want the McLaren with the Hermes interior, okay? No, this kind of money, I'm not. Oh, geez. I'll call you back. No, hey, everybody, how you doing?
McLaren, right? Yeah.
Well, you know, you got to take care of business because you know we've been off for a year, so you know, got to get things squared away.
You holding out on me, baby. You holding out on me. McLaren, right on. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the Sugar Shack. Drake Monkey Head Shining. Drake, how you doing, brother?
You know, I'm ambulatory. I'm able to take nourishment. My oxygen levels are normal. I'm doing okay.
Have you got the vaccine yet?
Oh yeah. I got my first shot 2 weeks ago, last Wednesday.
Right on.
So now I'm just waiting. Now I'm just turning pages on the calendar and wait until I get that second shot. And a couple of weeks after that, I'm gonna be good to go.
Right on, brother. I'm right there with you. Matter of fact, I got mine because of some of the info that you passed on. So thank you for that. Thank you for that.
You know, we got to take care of the family, man. We got to get back out on the road and start doing what we do.
Well, it's coming. They already starting to do bookings, baby. So, you know, that was one reason you drove down to my house was to get the van all together. I've been up since 7:35 this morning, which is for most of y'all that's nothing, but for me that's early. Usually I don't go to bed at 6 a.m., but I actually went to bed about 1:30 this morning. Actually, Drake, you was with
there
me.
you go.
You at my
There
house,
you go.
even though that don't look like. But where you at?
I'm at this luxurious spa that just happens to. No, I'm around the corner from you.
Okay.
With a couple of guys our size, there's just no way that we're going to fit in the Sugar Shack. You know, it's an intimate venue.
You can fit in here. We just couldn't get the camera to do right with the echo and everything.
Yeah.
Second camera. You know, I got a second camera, y'all. Is the sun shining out there, though?
No, it's gray and overcast.
Oh wow! All right.
Yeah, it just came in.
Yeah, the wind. I see the wind is blowing. I see the curtains are blowing back and forth on the shack. So Drake, a lot of people know you're my keyboard player, you're my music director, but what they don't know is, you know what? Screw that, Drake. And don't be all skippy. I know you played with Deep Purple for a little while. I know you lived in London. When you were in London, though, when you were in the UK, I'm saying London, but you were in the UK. What were you doing? Can you talk about that?
Yeah, I mean, I was, you know, I had a day gig, and I just, you know, I was like, this is no way to live. So I took all my money and I cashed out, and I just went to London with a one-way ticket. And while I was over there, I met some wonderful musicians and, you know, started working with them, started doing some producing, and ended up staying there until, you know, record companies, they get bought up by bigger companies and they do the whole clean house thing. And I was left out in the cold, and I made my way back to LA. But I played with some people. I did a tour with Joe Jackson, and the story behind how I ended that tour is kind of famous, and I'm not really at liberty to say it right here. But you can, get a hold of me, and I'll tell you all about it. That's a great story.
So when I forget that you was touring with Joe Jackson.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
let me ask you, and I know you did a lot of record label stuff, that you were a producer, and I mean, can you talk about that label and stuff?
Well, the label no longer exists. It started out with GWR Records. They had Motorhead. They had and I was doing a little artist development producing for them. And then they got bought up by Enigma, and that was that. That was that. Everybody just cleaned house.
Come on, man, give me some more of the story. Give me some details. You didn't work one damn. Jeez.
No, I mean, part of the fun in producing is taking some, it's almost like you're a sculptor and you have this clay and, or a piece of marble that's beautiful, but you have to turn it into something. And just like Michelangelo said with marble in his sculptures, or no, it was Rodin, excuse me, just what Rodin used to say.
I love Rodin.
Yeah. He used to say that the sculpture is already in the marble. It's just up to you to find it.
Mm.
And that's the way that I would approach producing. Is it's already a beautiful piece of marble. There's already some beautiful stuff in there. It's just up to me to be able to find it.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then of course you're in England too, which is kind of the mecca, if you will. I mean, there's a few of them on the planet: Detroit, Chicago, L.A., New York, of course, New Orleans. But London is another mecca for music. So there's some fabulous musicians there, and people that are absolutely dedicated,
Mm-hmm.
to the craft. I mean, I have some friends over there now. You met them when we played in London. It's a band called Vice Squad.
Yeah.
And they're like a seminal punk band, but the musicianship is incredibly high.
Are those the people that met at the 100 Club?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah. Becky Bondage, the singer, fabulous singer.
I love that name, Becky Bondage. Is that her real name?
Bondage. Yep. No, well, it's a stage name, but
okay.
Becky Bondage.
All right. Yeah.
And the guitarist Paul Rooney, who does most of the songwriting and all. I mean, he's a absolutely fabulous guitarist, But I had to travel to London and to do all this stuff and learned quite a bit, So, and then of course, I've been producing people here and there for years, and only recently I've taken on the task of trying to produce myself, which is something entirely different. I mean, I have a dear friend, Eva Marie Frederick. You've met her several times, and she's a wonderful writer. And she approached me one day and said, "Hey, I've got some poems, some lyrics here. Do you want to try writing some music for them?" And I said, "Yeah, sure. Why not? It's the middle of a pandemic. I got nothing to do." And one thing led to another, and we ended up writing an entire album together.
All right.
And it was a different process in that usually when you're writing music, when you're writing songs, you get like a musical phrase, a riff, and then you'd kind of fit a lyrical phrase over it. Well, she would just hand me these lyrics, and I would get my inspiration. Once again, you have this beautiful piece of marble, and the song is already in there. And it's my job as a songwriter / producer to find that beautiful song. So it was an entirely different process for me, but I found it eminently enjoyable, and I'm really, really proud of the results. Unfortunately, I don't have it to where I can give you a little snippet or whatever.
Well,
I mean,
we're not going. The show isn't going anywhere. So when you get it, let me know, and then Eric and I put it together, and we'll play it live here on the Chicken Shack, if that's all
okay,
right with
because
you.
I mean, it's still a work in progress. There's,
How
uh,
many
uh,
songs you got?
I got 11 songs for the album. Eva Marie wrote the lyrics for 10 of them, and I wrote my little pedestrian little thing for one of them. But I'm very proud of the album because it's the material is just all over. You can't pigeonhole what kind of material this album. It's I've played some for you, and it goes from just crazy, silly, fun stuff to just deeply soul stirring, heavily orchestrated. It's just all over the place. But it's a lifetime's worth of experience and ideas, and it's something people have been telling me to do for 30, 35 years, and I finally got the opportunity to do it.
Well,
So
let me ask you a couple questions. So,
yeah.
is this your first quote unquote solo album?
Yes.
Now,
Yes.
now damn,
I,
Drake, why did you wait so long? I mean, I knew you.
we
I knew you grew up in Pasadena. You grew up with all those with those all those rock guys.
with the Van Halen
With the Van
brothers.
Halen brothers. I knew you played
Yeah.
with all those guys. All you guys
Yeah.
played together and stuff. What took you so long to put out a solo album?
My, we're talking some hardcore psychological therapy here. I've always been the guy who helps other people sound better, be it as a producer or as a sideman or as a backup vocalist or whatever. I've always been that guy who has helped other people, sound as good as they can. And that's always been my approach. Now, I've composed for, little films, I've done commercials, I've done cues, the kind of incidental music that you hear in films and TV. I mean, I did some of that. I did quite a bit of it with my friend Frank Symes. Frank. He's
Well, tell people who Frank is.
he was the musical director for the Who. He's played with Don Henley, Stevie Nicks. I mean, this guy. Just Google him. That's what he used to do. We'd go to NAMM, and he'd hand out guitar picks as cards with his name on them. And they said, "Well, who's?" And he just look at him and go, "Google me." So, but he's helped me out on the record. He's helped me out on the album, and and I've worked a lot with songwriting with him, but I've never ever really. I don't know if it was a confidence thing or what, or the opportunity didn't present itself, or I just wasn't motivated to do it. But when I started working with Eva Marie and we started grinding some of this stuff out, I was like, well, this isn't half bad. So and if anything, it's a legacy. It's
Yes.
a piece of me, and it's just me. I've got some other folks on the record. One of them is sitting on that other screen here. But I've got some people coming in to do some singing. I got some people coming into players, and they, and players to be announced at a later date. But and it's very gratifying to see people come together. And for me, anyway, it's very gratifying to have people come in and actually want to participate. So, but I mean, I've been doing this.
Hey, Eric said he's looking forward to hearing it, brother. Uh-oh.
Well, I might send you a couple of little pre-production things, get your opinion on them there, Eric. Believe me. But it's a lifetime worth of stuff, and we ain't getting no younger.
Yeah.
So, if I'm gonna do it,
You do it now.
yeah.
Well, another question. We got a couple questions. Eric Sassaman, you know Eric. Eric is on
Yeah.
backstage right there. Eric wants to know what was it like? What is it? What was it like? Talk about your Al Green stand, and what was that like?
That was, if I died right after that, I'd have been a happy man. It was the opportunity of a lifetime. To actually play with that energy of that man and the joy, the absolute joy, because he was getting back into doing his secular music. You
Well,
know, he'd been out.
what time frame was this?
This was the mid '90s,
Okay,
and he had been out of it for, he'd been doing his gospel
right.
exclusively. And he decided that he was going to go out and do some of his old stuff, some of his secular music. So, I got the opportunity to play with him, but I learned a tremendous lesson there as well. As a sideman, your job is to frame the featured artist in the best light you can, and everything is on the featured artist. Well, I was having so much fun that I just kind of lost it. And I was all over the place, shaking this wig, and shouting and playing. I mean, I played the B3 so hard that there's a little callus that you get on your index finger here from doing glissandos, the row row stuff. I was playing so feverishly that I'd ripped it off, and there was blood all over the B3. So, and a couple days later, the management called me up and said, I think we're going to go in another direction because you're just a little too flamboyant. So
Wow.
that was a big, big lesson.
Wow.
I
don't think you ever told me that. Wow.
Yeah.
All right, one more question, and then we'll talk more about the album. One more question. You played with Deep Purple for a stint. What was that like, and how did that come about?
I played with them for a handful of gigs. It was right during the Come Taste the Band album, and that's when the band had big personnel changes. Richie Blackmore had left to play with his band Rainbow. It was a big breakup. And they had this new album coming out and a tour to support it. And John Lord, their keyboardist, there's contractual complications. And he wasn't going to play until those were settled. And they had shows coming up. Now, they were kind of, warm up shows and all that, but they were big shows nonetheless. So I was 18 years old, and I was working at a studio over in the Rampart district of LA called Sound Arts. And they were the West Coast distributor for modular Moog synthesizers.
Okay.
And so and they had all kinds of other keyboards of the day, a lot of really complicated, rare instruments. And so everybody that came into LA that, was a keyboard centric kind of thing ended up at this studio one way or the other. And one day I was there working, and the management came in and said, look, we got these shows coming up, and we don't have, we can't, you don't want to replace somebody with a name artist, or something like that at that time. And my boss said, this kid over here, Drake, he's a hell of a keyboard player. And, he knows all that stuff, because back in those days, if you were a keyboard player, you had to know all of the Deep Purple catalog. You had to, And so they talked to me and they said, how would you feel about coming out and playing a few shows until John can come back? And I was like, okay. I went out, and it wasn't a big deal. I was traveling. I didn't travel with the band. I traveled with the crew. When they did the stage plot and all, yeah, I was set up in the same spot using the same gear, but I wasn't lit. I was playing in the dark.
Hey, but you were there. But you were there.
I was there, and it was just a tremendous experience. What it taught me was you know, sometimes there's some performers can get up in front of big crowds and they get stage fright, you know, and
I'm,
they get real
believe it or
nervous.
not, I'm one of them. You know, I'm a nervous wreck. You know, you know me.
Yeah,
People don't think that you get stage fright, but I'm a nervous wreck until I get on the stage.
that's right. And those first notes come out of your mouth and you're home. But what it taught me was instead of thinking about all those people out there, you're playing with the band, you know. That's your bubble right there. Is you're playing with the band and you're having fun playing with the band. And it really does tend to calm you down. And you know, I've said my whole career, if I'm not having fun, nobody's having fun, you know? So, and I mean, and that's the way it works on stage. You know, people come there and they unask their wallets for you to show them a good time and to show them that it's possible. Many, many years ago, the great promoter Bill Graham told me personally, he said, your job as an entertainer is to show people that you can follow your passion, do what you love, and make a living at it.
Wow.
And you know, and that takes them away. That's you know, then they can get into the entertainment part of it because they know that hell, it's possible. You know, here's somebody up here actually doing it, and I'm participating in it. You know, that's the whole thing about performing is it's a shared experience. You know, you're sharing those moments. You share them with your bandmates. You share them with the audience. The audience shares them amongst themselves. You know, it's all about those shared moments. That's the essence of performing, and that's what's so enjoyable about playing in your band is it's indeed it's a party. It's not a concert.
It is, but you know, I'm pretty hard. You know, a lot of people. I mean, you know, when I audition a band member, you know,
Oh God.
tell them my audition process, Drake.
Well, I can only speak personally.
Oh, I've done it
Now,
to every band member that's out there.
I had heard through Gino and Lavelle that there was an opening in your band because your keyboard player Leo had fell very ill and
Yeah,
wasn't able to play. So they said, you know, you were actually doing a benefit for Leo down at the old Malarkeys in Long Beach.
right.
And so they told me to come on down, you know, and meet you and you know, maybe you can come up and play a little bit, come up and jam or whatever. So I said, yeah, okay, sure, you know. So I show up down at Malarkey's fashionably late, you know, because I gotta show up fashionably late. And I go walking up, and every keyboard player in town is there. Every keyboard player in LA is there. And I walk up and I'm like, ah, damn. And I'm looking at them and they're looking at me going, ah, damn. You know? So I go in, you guys are in the middle of your set. And I'm watching, you know, because I had never actually seen you perform live. I'd never have. I had seen videos and things, but I'd never seen you perform live. And so I walk in and I'm watching. I'm like, oh, this guy's pretty good, you know. So and then Gino says, "Hey man, come up and play." And I'm like, "No, not yet, not yet, not yet." And then you know, a little while later, Lavelle's like, "Hey man, come on up and play." And I, no, not yet. And then Ralph Carter, your bass player and MD at the time, he looks over at me, says, "Hey man, come up and play." Well, I didn't know he was the MD. I just thought he was the bass player. So I told him the same thing. I said, "No, not yet." See what I was doing? I'm old school. And you don't come up and jam until the band leader asks you to come up. There's a courtesy, there's a protocol, and I mean young players need to learn this stuff. You know, you just don't come in, "Oh, I'm going to jam." No. So I waited until you called me up and I said, "Okay." And I went up and and we started to play some what was it? Pass the Peas. was the first song.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, pass the peas. All right, all right. And I go to play, and oh hell, what key do these guys do this song in? And I'm hunting around and hunting around. Of course, when you're in the middle of a song, you can't yell at somebody and go, hey, what key is it? You know, and I'm hunting around, and I finally, I'm like, A flat? These guys are playing this song in A flat? Oh, God. So, anyway, we get through that. And then the next song is Blind Alley. Now, for any people that are familiar with that song, it starts out with a riff. And I've never heard the song before in my life. I have no idea what's going on. I got the key because the key's pretty easy, but there's riff. There's da 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 da. So I'm like, oh hell. Da 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 da. You know, I mean, I have no idea what's going on, but I'm playing the material because I love playing stuff I don't know how it goes. I just love it. It's such a challenge. And we did that. I think we did another song and then took a break and all. And I was like, well, that was something. But I had fun. I was having a good time. I wasn't like, freaked out like, oh God.
But I won't call it names, but there was a couple other keyboard players I brought up that night. And I did the same thing. And they just freaked the heck out. They just freaked out. And there's a method behind my madness. My madness is I play very hard. I don't like to use a set list. So I need to make sure that guys are not going to do just that. We're in front of 10,000 people and I decide to change a song. I don't need a guy that's going to freak out. I need a guy that's going to just roll with it and be right there with me. Like, what you got? What you got? Roll. So this is why when I audition band members, I always audition them at a live show. Don't even send them the material because I want to see how you going to react to the adversity.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah. And, I love the challenge. I just love the challenge.
Well, you kick butt, man. You kick butt. And I think I told you that night, I said, I don't know exactly what I said, but I remember saying, like, man, I'll be in touch with you, man. I want talk to you and whatever.
And as a side man, I mean, you hear that all the time. Oh yeah, man. Well, I'll be in touch. Oh man, that was great. You played great. You're this, that, and I'll get in touch with you, and I have my people call your people, and whatever. So I was like, okay, well, it was a fun afternoon. And sure enough, a few days later, I get word, hey man, we've got a gig. You want to play the gig? And I said, well, yeah, sure. Where is it? What do you want me to do? Yada da. Well, it's the San Diego Blues Festival. So now I've got to learn this repertoire, and your material is not exactly just like 1-4-5, hunka chunka. You got to know the material, and so okay, yeah, well, hell yeah, I'll do it. Oh boy, what have I done? And so the first gig is some big festival, and I remember I was woodshedding the material, and I was listening to the recordings with Leo and all that, and I had called you after a few days, and I said, I know that you've been playing with Leo for years, and you're used to his feel, you're used to his vibe, you're used to his style. But I said, it's not mine, and I'm having a hell of a time copying it and making it sound real. I don't know what to do. And you told me something that has stuck with me ever since. He said, Drake, I hired you. I want you to play like you. And I said, okay. And the rest, as they say, is history.
Right. Wow. Yeah. Sometimes, I'm in the moment, so I'm not thinking about things. I'm thinking about things. I'm usually, even though I'm standing there, I'm usually 9 shows down the road mentally. And, what you did at Belarkey's, with all them people that was there, and it worked out perfectly because I don't play LA that often. I used to come in once, maybe twice
Right.
a year, and and I knew I had a major tour coming up, and I needed a keyboard player, but not just a keyboard player. I mean, I need a guy. I've always said I'm one of them few singers, a few frontmen. I want a band that kicks me in my ass. Excuse me for saying that. And what I mean by
Mhm.
that if I'm falling down one day, I want the band to run me over because I like that type of energy and I like that type of feel, and it flows off the stage into the audience. I want the band to have a good time, but I like wild horses. You know what I mean? I'm not looking for entertained horses.
Yeah.
I want the horses wild. I don't have no bit in your mouth. I got a bridle on because I got to hold you a little bit. But I want it running, and as you know, you've been with me for years. I am that way. As you know, we've gone through some band members because they just didn't have the second and third gear. They're
Yeah.
good in first. It was good in first gear, but the band
Yeah.
has a second and third gear,
Yeah.
and a lot of guys just can't hang.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and part of that is too, your band is not made up of, typical
But
blues kind of
but
players.
that also was done on purpose.
Well, exactly. Exactly. I mean, I come from a rock, soul, that a lot of rock, background. And that's the way that I've tried to approach my contribution to the band is, it's just like anybody, whether it's a professional athlete or a businessman or whatever, you play to your strength, and try to make that essence of what you do not only fit in with what you're doing with the project, but elevate it to a different level, just kind of tweak it a little bit to where it's makes it unique. And it's always been a very, very wise thing that you've done is to pick people from, not necessarily from a traditional blues background, you know, and put us all together. And one of the great things about this band is you give us kind of a long leash, when it comes to actually performing and that kind of stuff. Is you let us be individuals and you let us bring our strengths. And I've always maintained the wisest thing you can do when you're forming a band is choose your musicians well and then just let them play, you know. And that's, just look at the band. Look at the Sugar Ray Rayford band. That's what happens when you do that, you know. It's a
Well,
very wise thing.
I don't know how wise it is, but it's what's been in my soul, and it's the way I was brought up in gospel. I mean, that's the way we were brought up. You was part of the choir, but you had better have something to contribute to the choir, and
Absolutely.
that was a big thing if you was going to be there. I grew up in the days where choirs, the directors and whatnot were so good they could tell if you were up there pantomiming, and last thing you wanted for them to stop the whole choir and then they pointed at you and like sing your part. And they used to
Uh,
they used to do that all the time. That was a big thing.
yeah.
Well, listen, today we're talking about uh Texas blues band. Myself being from Texas, and we're under them. As I said, Johnny Rawls was not able to be here with us today. We want to thank. I wanted to thank my brain. My brain just went like kablunk. So let me look up who it is. I'm trying to think about. I don't know why my mind. Thank you. I wanted to give a big shout out to Kimberly Horton. Kimberly worked tirelessly to try to get Johnny Rawls on. She did everything she could. We did all we could. I want to thank Eric Sesselman. We tried with Johnny over a 2-month period, and we still couldn't make it work. And got a call late last night that he couldn't do it. But Drake, thank you. It was lucky that you were coming in, and I'm glad that you were here. And you could do everything. What is the title of your album, and when is your album supposedly coming out?
Well, the title of the album is This Is Life Now. Hold on. Let me see if I got it. Hold on. Oh, here. This is the back. and the front cover. That's the front down me there standing underneath that old bird who's thinking this is life now. And then that's me looking at another flock of seagulls coming in with some doo-doo on my shoulder, thinking, oh, this is life now. So
Drake, only Drake.
and the co-writer Eva Marie took those photographs. Her son Dylan Bocanegra, who's a big time art director kind of guy. He did all the graphics and all that. It's been like a family kind of project, and that's what makes it special as well. And I'm hoping that when it comes out, everybody will enjoy it and take it in that spirit, that it's a real collaborative effort, and it is about life now.
Right.
And hopefully I'll be able to get it out by June,
Okay.
but there'll be more news about that and the distribution, blah blah blah. All that business work,
Business.
that has nothing to do with the creative side of it, but is as necessary as anything.
Just like
Lord.
breathing, brother. It's just like breathing. And if
Man.
you can't get the other side, you'll never be successful on the other side. That's
Well,
just the way it works.
you think writing it is hard? Try selling it.
Hey, you need to tell that to them. To me, you preaching to the choir.
I know.
I'm 20 albums in. I know.
I know, but
I know.
I want everybody to know I ain't going nowhere. I'm gonna be the musical director of the Sugar Raver Band as long as he wants me. So this is just something that I've wanted to do for years, and it's it's a labor of love, quite literally.
Well, I know where you live if you did try to sneak out. So, right?
yeah, because that's where your van is.
Yeah, thank you for that. And trailer. Trailer.
Oh yeah. Oh, about the trailer, Ray. Oh, we'll talk about that off camera.
Today we're talking to Drake Shine, and we're talking about Texas Blues Band.
I'm gonna have to come back on here. We're gonna have to tell some stories. We're just gonna have to sit down and have us some fun,
All right. Barbara Ryan says goodbye. Okay, Barbara. I'm sorry that she's having a connection. Barbara Ryan. I don't know if you remember Barbara. Barbara runs the C Note up in
I love that place.
Hall, Massachusetts.
I love that place. Oh my God, that was
she
so
says goodbye.
Great.
Eric says she says goodbye because she's having some connection problem. Save the link.
I hope we can make it out there again. They were just the most wonderful, hospitable people. That was just great. What a great experience.
Anytime we go anywhere and they get me to eat sea monsters, it's pretty
good.
Yeah.
Hello. Having you eat clam chowder.
Clam chowder.
You were very hesitant, but you tried it and you're like, oh, it's pretty good.
Well, the difference was it was homemade clam chowder, so it's different from anything I had. Hey, but listen, I know you're not a gigantic blues band, but who's your favorite Texas blues band?
I was always a Johnny Winter fan.
Right on.
Always, because there was just something about that passion and the rawness of that electric guitar and the rock and the hair and all of that. I mean, he was that guy.
Well, I've been playing a lot of first generation blues guys, like Lightning Hogland, Blind Lemon, Lead Belly. But here, right now I'm gonna play the guy. This is the guy that really changed blues guitar. People talk about Muddy, and I love Muddy. They talk about Wolf and all these guys. And they forget about this Texas guy. He left Texas and moved to California at a young age and became famous out there, but he was big time Texas man. Here, y'all, check this out. Here's one about the legendary.
Yeah.
That was the legendary, y'all, T-Bone Walker, one of the greatest bluesmen of all time, also from Texas, not from California. He came out to California. He was already playing that great and kind of got rediscovered in California, but he is from Texas. And most of us old Texas guys, for some reason, that Dallas area and around Dallas just seemed to be the area that most of us guys came out of. We've had a good time today. I want to thank my special guest, Mr. Drake Monkey Hayes Shining.
Sure, anytime.
What a character. What Bugs Bunny said, what a maroon. Anyway, as Otis is bothering everybody, get out there, Otis. We've had a good time today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We wanted to highlight some of the great Texas bluesmen. Johnny Rawls couldn't make it. So maybe next time for Johnny. Tune in next week, Tuesday. We're gonna figure out who the guest is. I got a few people lined up. We'll make it work. Been very lucky. This is our 51st or 53rd show, actually. It's my 53rd show since we started this live at the Sugar Shack. I'm Sugar Ray Raver. Thank you to Eric Sassman, Bunny Burkert, Tristan DeVito, to Jesse Rossoff, to Stephanie Gonzalez, to Pam Raven, everybody involved. It's been a really cool thing. And I hope you guys enjoyed the show today. I'm not going to keep you long. This is not going to be a 2-hour show. We ain't doing that this time. So I'll see you guys next time. My name is Sugar Ray Raver. This is live at the Sugar Shack. And as always, please be good to one another. I'm going to leave you with this one right here.
That's how I get around. Got a black Cadillac and I got 4 doors. We are messing with a Texas blues man, baby. Yes, anything goes. I'm a Texas blues man. Hey, baby, I'm a blues man. I'm a Texas blues man, yeah. From Amarillo to Brownsville, from El Paso, baby, to Duncanville. Listen, y'all, from the Red River to Trinity Valley, too. I come all the way from Texas, baby.